Hello everyone, welcome in today to the Coach KJ Carousel Dynasty. This is LDJ11, and we're coming at you from the Goodyear Cotton Bowl as number 6 Penn State's taking on number 13 Kansas State. It is a bit of a disappointing finish to our season with that big blowout loss in our conference championship game, so we unfortunately ended up missing the 4-team playoff due to that, but here we are, and we're going to make the best of it as this is Coach KJ's final game at Penn State since he's accepted a head coaching job at a new program, but he decided to stay on and coach the bowl game as Nick Singleton gets back-to-back carries to open the game and gets Penn State a first down. Pribula's looking to pass it on this play, and Lambert Smith catches that. Third corner dove for it. Is anybody going to catch Keandre Lambert Smith as he's going down the sideline? It does not look like it. It is an early 6-0 lead with a 70-yard touchdown by Keandre Lambert Smith to open this one up. What a beautiful play. That's exactly what we want to see as we are getting an early lead here, 7-0 over Kansas State. Now, they do have a good team, and they got blown out in their conference championship game as well. TCU beat them down pretty good. However, they can't get points to open up their drive, so we take back over with Nick Singleton, and he goes for 13 yards on first down. We line up in the gun on 1st and 10 here, and Pribula's looking around, but he gets sacked. He felt some pressure on a blitz there and ends up going down. So on 2nd down, we're going to be forced to throw it, and we find DeWalt on Dijo underneath for an 8-yard pickup. That's going to help us bring up a 3rd and 10, which isn't great, but it's a lot better than 3rd and 18. And we find Lambert Smith for another first down as he catches that one for a 14-yard gain, and we just hit 6,000 yards on the season for our offense. That's a big reason why Coach KJ was able to land his first head coaching job. Carter Jake Jr. did 5 interviews, and he ended up being able to choose one of the following schools. It was Florida was our top choice, but I don't know if we get this job. Followed up by Illinois, who went 0-12, and then FAU, then Southern Miss, and then Nebraska. So one of those 5 teams are going to hire Carter Jake Jr. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, we did all of this list and made our order prior to getting offers in the offseason. So I looked at teams, looked at records, and just kind of guessed who I figured might make a change or what teams could possibly lose a coach, and made my list. And then from there, when I went to the offseason, if one of them offered me the job and I felt confident that the other one below it wasn't going to show up, then I'd take that job. Above it, wouldn't show up, then I'd take that job. I explained it all in the previous episode of the conference relegation. If you want more info, go ahead and check that out. It's, like I said, the previous episode on the channel, so go ahead and check that out if you want to see all the information on that. As the first quarter comes to an end, Penn State leading 7-0 over Kansas State. I think we'll be able to win this game. Like I said, we're a better team than Kansas State when I did our preview, so we should be able to hold on and win it. You'll also notice that I accidentally did 10-minute quarters, so I had to run clock throughout most of this game just so that way it didn't take forever to play it and the stats were not ridiculous. But Kansas State has the ball. We'll see if they can do anything with it. It looks like they're moving the ball pretty well on this drive, and then they got back-to-back penalties that backed them up. That's 3 penalties to end that drive on a 4th and 23, so Penn State takes over with Pribula looking to throw that one into double coverage. Luckily, that didn't end up intercepted. If you've seen the conference championship game, you'll see Pribula threw a ton of picks, so it's good to see him kind of catch a break here after last week, as Harrison Wallace III takes that for a 15-yard gain, and then we go to Nick Singleton on the next play, and he's going to lose 1. That's okay, though. It's still 2nd down, so we can recover from that. However, Singleton gets hit in the backfield once again and doesn't pick up anything. So now we're stuck with a 3rd and 11 as Pribula's going to run some play action and look to toss it deep. That's really all you can do in this situation, but he actually finds Nick Singleton underneath completely uncovered. That's going to go for a first down as he tried to swerve to the inside. That's still out to the 42-yard line, and a big first down for Penn State as Singleton's going to get rewarded with a carry to follow up that catch, and he's going to take that for 9 yards. We're also later in this episode going to reveal what players are intending on entering the transfer portal. We'll see where they end up going in the offseason, but right now it's just kind of revealing the players that have decided to enter the portal and, just give you a bit of a heads up and let you think about it and stew about it and see where you think they might go. I will say some of them may follow me to my new head coaching job, so there's going to be a few hints based on the top 5s of some of these players that are transferring, but you'll have to figure it out as Pribula's moving us down the field right here. It's 1st and goal, and we go to Nick Singleton. It looks like he might be able to get in, and he does. Touchdown, Penn State. We're going to take a 13-0 lead here in the bowl game. That's a pretty solid lead. It looks like this might be more of a defensive battle, so it's good to see us up 2 scores. We'll see if Kansas State can answer, and they do not, so we have another chance to put points on the board before halftime. Pribula's looking to pass this one, and he finds DeWalt on Dijo down there. That's going to be about a 14-yard pickup and another first down for Penn State in this game as they're looking to get points on the board. Like I said, is right there. It's kind of a weird call to hand it to Nick Singleton. He picks up 7 though. On 2nd down again, they're looking to pass it. Pribula's on the move though, go. He's not seeing anybody open, and he threw it late across the field, and that was a terrible decision. That ended up getting picked off by Penn for Kansas State. I think he's a linebacker. That was a big mistake by Bo Pribula. After what happened last week, you really hate to see him turning the ball over. He needs to get comfortable with the ball in his hands and kind of regain his confidence. It looks like last week might have ruined him a little bit there. However, Kansas State ends up getting just a field goal on the board from that, so it's 14-3 as we get ready to enter halftime. Coach KJ has to be happy with the results in his final game here at Penn State. Like I said, there's still another half a ball to play, but it looks like we're going to be able to win this one. We'll have to see what happens as we take a look at stats here. We have a pretty good advantage in offense. First downs are pretty close, but overall, we have a pretty good advantage. We each have a turnover. That dumb interception by Pribula really hurt us. The big difference is time of possession, but once again, when you're a coordinator, it is always kind of wonky with time of possession. However, Kansas State does start the second half with the ball, and they appear to actually be moving it pretty well down the field here. So let's see if they can get any more points on the board and draw this game a little bit closer. They have a big 4th and 10, and it looks like they punted it back to us. So we take over, and Pribula finds Kaytron Allen out here in the flats, and look at that spin move. That was beautiful. That's going to bring us out to about the 50-yard line. Kaytron Allen on that nice little route to get us the first down. That was a big 29-yard gain to open up our second half as we hand it to Allen on the handoff here, and he's going to end up taking it for 9 yards. That's a solid carry on first down. So on second down, we decide to air it out a little bit here, and let's take a shot deep. However, McCormick cuts underneath and picks that off. DeWalt on Dijo couldn't do anything to keep him away from the ball as Pribula just underthrew it. It looks like the ghost of last week is catching up to Pribula. Once he threw that one pick, he seems to be scared. But luckily, Kansas State didn't get any points on the board, and we take back over. And we find Lambert Smith for an 8-yard gain to open up this drive. On second down, we hand it to Nick Singleton, and that one didn't go anywhere. He couldn't spin out of it. He definitely tried. That was a great play by Kansas State's linebacker. However, on third down, Saunders will get us the first down on a 7-yard gain. So now it's 1st and 10, and we're in the gun. Pribula is going to stand in the pocket and throw it out there. He finds Saunders. That might be another first down. However, he ends up just a little bit short, as they call it, 2nd and inches. And so we go to Nick Singleton on next play, and that's a first down. I don't understand why he threw that stiff arm, though. That doesn't make any sense. So now it's 1st and 10, and we're in the gun. Pribula is going to run play action off of Nick Singleton, and he's going to throw it deep. That's going to be Keandre Lambert Smith catching that one. That's a touchdown, and bombs away, baby. Keandre Lambert Smith catches that deep touchdown pass. We don't get too many of them with Bo Pribula, so you love it when you finally see it happen. We're up 21-3. Let's see if Kansas State can answer. It looks like they're doing pretty well moving the ball, so they might get points on the board. However, they end up settling for just 3, so it's 21-6 as we take over. Nick Singleton gets a carry, and the third quarter is getting pretty close to coming to an end here. This will be the final play as Singleton gets another carry. It'll be 3rd and 6 as we open the 4th quarter, but right now it's 21-6. Penn State seems well on their way to winning this bowl game and getting Coach KJ out of Penn State with a bowl victory. He was hoping to be able to win the title, but that one didn't happen, so this is the next best thing. Let's see what happens here as we open up, and Pribula is going to line up in the shotgun. He's moving to the left, and he's going to scramble around a little bit, and he throws it at the last second. However, that one's not very accurate, so that's an incompletion, and we end up punting it back to Kansas State. They didn't get any points on the board, so we'll take over with 8:55 left in this game. Looking to drain the clock. However, we throw an interception to Savage on the first play of this drive. That's a crucial mistake and opens the door for Kansas State to be able to come back in this game and maybe win it and pull off the upset here. However, they cannot get points on that drive, so thankfully we take over, and now we are deciding let's be a little more careful with the ball and let's run this clock and try to get it out of here without messing this up and secure the victory. Ultimately, we want a bowl victory to end our time here at Penn State as Kaytron Allen gets this carry, and that's some nifty running for a first down with an 11-yard rush right there. On the next play, Allen gets the carry again. However, he's blown up at the line of scrimmage. That was just a perfectly read play by Kansas State's defensive end. Well, so we decide to throw it, and Pribula finds DeWalt on Dijo down there in the flats. That's only a couple of yard pickup, so it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8, and we come out in the pistol. Pribula's going to stand in the pocket and throw a screen to Kaytron Allen. He has a chance of getting 6 on this play, it looks like, as he's going down the right sideline. However, Kansas State takes him down at about the 6-yard line. So on 1st and goal, we go to Kaytron Allen on the ground, and he gets stuffed up. That's a 2-yard loss, bringing up a 2nd and goal, and Pribula's going to pass this one. He's moving in the pocket, and then he just kind of wildly threw that away, I think it was. On 3rd down, he's looking to throw another screen. This time it's Nick Singleton in the game. However, he gets stopped and can't quite get into the end zone, so we have to settle for a field goal attempt. That is good, so we go up 24-6. If Kansas State can't answer on this drive, this game is over, and they do not. They end up turning it back over to Penn State, and we give the ball to Nick Singleton. This right here is gonna lead to a Penn State victory. There's no no way Kansas State can come back in this one now. So we'll see if we can get some more points on the board on this drive. It's going to look a little bit more lopsided than it already was, I believe, but that's okay. We actually end up missing the field goal, so we don't even get points on that drive. However, Coach KJ is going to end up winning this one and going out with a full victory here at Penn State. It's a sad day. I was hoping we could get into the playoff and do some damage. I really wanted a second chance at USC. They were dominant, man. They completely beat our butt. So I was hoping to be able to see USC again and hopefully beat them. We end up winning a Goodyear Cotton Bowl. We'll take it. That's still a good achievement. And honestly, I think Penn State fans in real life would be happy with a 12-1 season. They'd be mad they didn't make it into the playoff because, you know, if it was Ohio State, they'd probably get in no matter what. But I think that as a whole, I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. I'm happy to see Coach KJ get a Cotton Bowl victory under his belt as an OC before he becomes the head coach and takes over another program. So it's now time to reveal what players entered the transfer portal. They all stuck around and played in this game. I didn't take any of them out. I thought about taking some of them out, but I figured it would be okay. I'd let them play in a Cotton Bowl. It's a New Year's 6 game, so. But first, we're going to give a little bit of flowers to Keandre Lambert-Smith. He put on a show today and really dominated out there with the 2 touchdowns and 170 yards through the air. So the first transfer is not a big impact player. His name is Jaquan McKinley Lewis. He's a 65 overall left tackle. He entered his name into the portal just because, you know, he was a backup to Olu Fashanu, and we have a couple good recruits coming in, so he's not going to end up taking over for him. And he realized that it was going to be a hard road ahead, so he decided to go ahead and put his name in the portal. The next one on the list is halfback Kevon Lee. He was a backup that we seen have a few carries throughout, and he ended up putting his name into the portal. He's an 84 overall. The next one is wide receiver Malik Mega. He made a few plays here or there. He's an 81 overall, and he decided to enter his name into the portal. The last 2 are names that we heard throughout the season quite regularly, and it just makes sense for them to leave the program at this point. The first one I'll reveal is Harrison Wallace III. He was our 4th receiver, but he made a ton of plays in my offense because I run, like I said, kind of an air raid offense. So we have 4 receivers out there at a time a lot of times, which allowed him to play, but with somebody else coming in, it just didn't make sense for him to stay. And the last one's going to be a big one. It is quarterback Bo Pribula. Drew Aller's going to be back to lead this team next season. He's not draft eligible, and I think Penn State would be crazy to let him go. I just don't see a world where Bo Pribula would stick around after the season he had. It may not have ended great with the 22 touchdowns and 20 picks or something like that through the air just because of the bad. Honestly, the last 2 games he threw 10 picks. You take those away and he had a really good season. So I think he's going to be a strong candidate for teams on the transfer portal. He's honestly a player that at my new job I might look to bring in for sure. I think him, Harrison Wallace III are the top 2 on my list that I would love to bring into a new program. I kind of, like I said, the ending of Bo Pribula's time just was frustrating. You know, there was mistakes made at the end. I got too aggressive with him and I pressed a little bit too much, especially against USC when we got down. So I don't blame his stats really on him. It was a lot of me. I shouldn't have put him in that situation. I should have remembered that he is not Drew Aller. He doesn't have that big NFL arm. However, he's a good college player, so we should have been running it early, especially once we threw that pick to open the game. I should have just leaned into the ground game, got him comfortable, and then tried to air it out at the end again. But that game's really the one that tanked his average and made him look a little bit worse than he actually was. So I think he's going to be a great player on the portal, and I'm interested in bringing him with me wherever I go. Now, I don't know if that will happen, but that's my goal. And then Harrison Wallace III made a ton of plays for me. The only reason he's leaving Penn State's because he's the number 4 receiver here, and with a new coordinator coming in, you just don't know exactly what they're going to run. So there's a good chance that he could be caught behind Avery DeWalt-Ondijo, Keandre Lambert-Smith, and Caden Saunders, and then maybe get a few plays a game and go from having 30 or 40 catches in a season all the way down to 1 or 2. And it just didn't make sense for him to stay here and waste his time on the bench. We're going to look at stats in the background. We just showed the All-Americans and all that as well, so you guys can look at that and just kind of see how the season unfolded. Now, there is something I do that I did in my Coach Kent Williams Carousel Dynasty. It was the first series I did on this channel. I take every first team All-American and I make them 90 overall, and then I take every second team All-American, make them at least an 87 overall. I take every award winner, make them a 95 overall. I take every Heisman finalist and make them a 95 overall, and then I I take the Heisman winner and make him a 99 overall. Now, it only applies to the All-American team that you go up, like the national All-American team, not the conference All-American team. And then for the freshmen, I bump all of them up to a 75 overall for a floor. If they're above it, of course, I don't lower them, but if they're a 67 overall and they're on the All-Freshman team, I just want to see them have a higher ceiling. And I think it just gives them a better chance of developing and makes it so that way in the long term, they could be a little bit more interesting and maybe have a shot to get to the NFL by development. Now, in the background, you've seen some of the stats from this season. I didn't really go all in and follow it. I just decided that I wanted to talk and let it just be in the background where you could read it and really take the thoughts for yourself. And honestly, I only did that because this team is not going to be the focus of our next season. So I just can't see diving in a little bit deeper and trying to make it a deeper storyline with these players. Next season, we will dive all in on the stats and I'll show everything off for our players at our new program. But this is LDJ11. I want to thank you for watching. The next episode out will be the national championship game in the playoffs. So you'll get to see that and then we'll be on to the off season. But thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is LDJ11. I'm out.
And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe